All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? We are here with my new friend, Kayak Mike. And as you can see, our buddy James Dockery is not here tonight. I have given him a vacation day. He is busy, as we talked about last week. So you'll just have these two beautiful faces. So, Kayak Mike, welcome, sir.
What's up, guys?
So I met Kayak Mike at the Rising Sun, Indiana tournament that I was in a few weeks ago. It was actually the Ohio Valley. Oh my God, Ohio River Valley or something. There's so many words in it. We call it the Rising Sun tournament. Okay.
Ohio Valley River Cats.
Look, see, that's why I keep this guy around. So I pulled up on day two. It was day two of the tournament, I think, is when I met you, or maybe it was in day one. But no, I know it was day two because I actually was able to pull up to the boat dock, and I pull up and I said, "Oh my God, Justin Johnson's at our tournament." And then here comes this little fella that with a camera walking around videotaping everybody, and he turns around and at the back of his shirt says Kayak Mike. So I just felt like I had to introduce myself. So before we go any further, I guess I should say hi to these beautiful people we have in here. We got 34 in chat now here to see the show. So we got Betty Jean Cross and Brandon Cross, Stan Smith, John Patrick, third best. Stan Smith, I'm going to say your name twice because I don't know where I'm at right now. Kevin Baker, let's see, Mike Irvin, Mike Sampson, avid fisherman, Tim Molina. Tim Molina got to fish with Chris Flores. I don't like him no more. Tim Molina, I like Chris Flores. That he was giving me grief on Facebook the other day. Palmetto Cats, welcome. My wife, who is in the other room, welcome. Seeing Catfish Weekly, John Patrick Jr., Finseeker TV. Don't forget about Dinks Outdoors, folks. Make sure you guys are subscribing to that little man. Am I missing anybody else? Muskrat Adventures. What's up, Roger? Trying to scroll through chat as fast as I can without missing anybody. Catfish and Crappie. Hello, Mark. Is Elstan Perez in this house too? LG Bass. Hold on. Chunky Cats Fishing. Oh, I got a shirt specially on for you tonight, brother. Oh, yeah. I got this slimed a couple weeks ago, by the way. We got Skip Stewart. Jason Blackburn. You said Mo's in the house too? Maurice, Brittany, Rex, Buckeye Catfishing. And I think that is everybody. Mo, I hope you was able to reach your hours that you was trying to get this week. We've been watching for you to pop up on our notifications so we can tune in, but I'm taking that as a sign that you are now you have your hours. So congrats to you. All right, Kayak Mike. You know, we were talking a little bit before the show. Met Kayak Mike here at the Rising Sun tournament. He actually had the pleasure of doing a lot of the recording, and he's put out day one and day two of the weigh-ins for those tournaments. And I absolutely love the job that he has done. Mostly, not just because it's awesome, but he put my name and my partner's name at the top of the weigh-in list to start each video. So he is one outstanding dude. I could not agree more with how you did that. I loved it. Loved it.
Thank you.
So wasn't much work.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I said that wasn't too much work, right?
No. The first video. All right, so this is a great segue. So the first video.
Yes, sir.
So people who weren't there, they had new scales. so I wrestled for about 20 years. I've been around certified scales my whole life. They're really good, but the problem with the fact that they're really good is they lock in really quickly. So like for the first hour and a half, 2 hours, they would get a fish or two in, and it would lock, and they would have to start from scratch, take the pin off, restart. So the first day, weigh-ins took like 6 or 7 hours. It was an incredible amount of time, and I had my GoPro running the entire time. So the first day, and everyone but 33 anglers, I think, weighed in. So that
Yep.
was 158 anglers weighed in. And
Yep.
I tried, I really, really, really want, well, one, I'm brand new to this YouTube thing. So if anyone from Ohio Valley River Cats is watching, I've posted already. I'm extremely thankful for this opportunity because the business risk they took on me, just the business risk. So you have to, consider it's one of the bigger tournaments in the country.
Mhm.
And I'm really a nobody in the YouTube world. I have 250 subscribers. I'll call myself a rookie in this game when it comes to YouTube and trophy catfishing. I'm not rookie to catfishing, but trophy catfishing, I'll consider myself a rookie. So I really can't thank them enough for giving me the opportunity. Funny story, I'm talking to the tournament director before the tournament starts, and I called him, and I'm like, "Hey, do you mind if I film all this?" And he seems a little standoffish, and I'm like, man, I'm like, am I not like? I'm like, maybe it's because I'm brand new, maybe he doesn't know me, that's why. And then he stops me dead in my tracks and goes, "What are you charging?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, what am I charging?" He goes, "No, yeah, what are you charging for this?" I'm like, "No, I'm asking permission. I'm not asking you to pay. I'm asking permission to do this." And then it was a 360. He was like, "Oh, well, come on over. Yeah, fine. Yeah,
Absolutely.
come film it."
Free. Come on.
Yeah, and apparently there were other people out there, and if that's your hustle, good for you. I'm not saying it's bad, but there were people out there calling him apparently to like film the event, but they were going to charge him to film the event, and I get it. It's a business, but I was just like, nah, man, I'm new. I'm trying to get my feet wet, and I love all fishing, not just kayak fishing. My favorite fishing is from the bank, but I love kayak fishing. I love boat fishing. And I love tournaments. So we were talking. I was big into esports for a long time. Um,
Yeah.
I was big into wrestling, cross country track, baseball. I coached for 10 years. So I've been around thousands of tournaments, and I love the competition aspect.
Yep.
So I was like, I think there's a market for this. I don't see anyone else going to these tournaments and filming weigh-ins. Like bass, of course, like it's all been done in bass before, but
Oh
like I
yeah.
don't see anyone going to these catfishing tournaments and filming weigh-ins. And I'm like, but this will be fun. Not only will I learn a lot, I'll probably make a lot of friends, networking, and I really, really, really wanted not just to make a highlight video of the weigh-ins. I wanted to give every single boat their due. Now, everyone knows GoPros overheat pretty easily, so they're not meant to run continuously. So the first day, my GoPro overheated twice, so I did miss a couple anglers. If you watched it the whole hour and a half and you never saw yourself, I apologize. But
Guilty, but
I got.
I
I'm
made the
sorry.
cut, so I'm good.
Yeah, yeah. So I tried really hard to get everyone on it, no matter if you had one fish, five fish, 141 pounds, or 3 pounds. I wanted everyone to get their moment to shine. Same thing in day two lanes. But to do that, the first day took me about 12 hours to edit the first video, which I hustled through that one. The second day took me about 4 to 6 hours to edit, and that one I took my time with because I kind of figured out what I was doing and what I wanted to be doing. Um,
Right.
so, but yeah, the first one was 12 hours going as quickly as possible, doing what I considered the minimum. I wanted everyone's team name, number, I wanted their names on the screen, and I wanted to have a running leaderboard. So like if somebody weighed in, I didn't think it'd be possible to have everyone up there. I wanted to put everyone up there at first, but then I was like, that's not possible. The print will end up being this big when you have 120 voters. You know what I mean?
Right.
Uh, so I just stuck with the top five, and then same day, second day, I went in. I wanted everyone to be recognized of what they did on the first day. So on the top was their team name, their first day place, and I actually thought that was pretty cool because every now and then there were a couple guys that were like 60th and 70th, and after they weighed in, they jumped up to fourth or fifth on the leaderboard. So you were able to visually see like, oh, these guys were halfway down the pack, and now they might cash. Like So instead of
Yeah,
just seeing numbers, you were able to kind of put it into perspective, which was really, really cool and really fulfilling. Really, for me, it was
I
fulfilling.
can imagine. And you got the fish a little while we were out running around. Some people going 40, 50 miles away to fish. You posted this video of you literally maybe 100, 200 yards away from where everybody really launched from the main, or put their boat in at down there, and he lands this beautiful flathead. And it was at that moment my heart sunk, and I'm like, that was almost my entire second day weigh-in, if not bigger.
And
I
that
was
was
like,
the first
man.
day. That wasn't even illegal fishing. So what I did, so if you ever say something that I could shamelessly plug or get a link to, I have it up on my computer. I'm just gonna throw it in the chat so everyone can see it. So I just
Awesome.
shamelessly plugged that video too. But if you say something else that I
Well,
could pull up somewhere else, I'll do that. I'll do that for you as well. I'll be a
well,
little tech guy here for you too. But
all
yeah.
right. Well, hopefully, I see Catfish and Crappie is one of our link guys. He'll be sharing links tonight to other
Oh,
people's
okay.
channels. Make sure you guys are so. But if you have one of your own, there's another video I am going to bring up because I watched it the other day and I absolutely loved it. But
Mhm.
we do share each other's links in our chats and stuff like that, so that people can go in. We'll have new people come in, and they might not be subscribed to you. They can go check out your channel too and help you grow. And that's kind of what we do this for, right?
Yeah.
Get to know who
Yeah.
you are a little bit and share links and get that love going. But the other video, so actually, before I talk about the other video, sticking with the tournament for just a minute, is the reason that I loved what you did is one of the things that you talk about the tournament director, Stephen Hainan. He mentioned in there that, we started out with 191 boats the first day, which is unreal. 158 boats weighed in fish the first day. And in our section of the river, that's a hell of a day. There's people that do, there was 30 something boats that didn't weigh in. And I did the math too. I went back and looked at last year's. Last year, we only had 5 teams weigh in over 100 pounds. And this year we doubled it. So the fishing in our area is somewhat better this year. That or
Mhm.
we got better as fishermen at catching them. So who knows? But so what I'm saying though is for you to go and give those people their due, I thought was really awesome.
Mhm.
Real quick, I did see a couple more people pop in here. We're up to about 40 people here now. Tirador or Core. What else did I see? Not a Clue Fishing. That's a nice name, by the way. I like that one.
That was good.
Not a Clue. Kentucky Catman Outdoors. What's up, Jim? I don't miss anybody else. Norm, I see you in there, brother. Catfish Headhunters in the house. So the other video that I wanted to talk about is your flathead blunder video. So it ended up I was sitting there jamming to it the whole when it starts out and it's got the Vanilla Ice Go Ninja song going on. I
Yo,
was like,
okay,
man.
all right, so funny story.
Yep.
So I did a lot of YouTube research on like the money aspect, and like I didn't start, like honestly, I didn't start any of this expecting to get paid for any of it, and I'm not getting paid for any of it, just so everyone knows. The way the YouTube affiliate program works, I don't think you can even apply until you have 1,000 subscribers. But the way
And
YouTube used to
4,000
work,
hours.
and 4,000 what?
You have to have 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours of view time in the
Okay.
365 to be monetized. Yeah.
Okay. Which that's also good to know. So the way
Yep.
my brain worked was I used to post when I was a wrestling coach, I would post our kids' wrestling videos, but every now and then somebody would have a song in the background and the video would be completely deleted. Even though it wasn't a song being played by me, that there'd be a warm-up song in the background on like somebody's phone and my video would just be deleted. YouTube doesn't do
Yeah.
that anymore. All they do now is if you have copyrighted material, if you're a paid YouTuber, that money just goes to that person. So I'm just
Really?
like, yeah. So like, so hypothetically speaking, if I ever got monetized, all these videos that I have all this music on, those people who own the rights to those music, they're going to get the money for my videos because I'm using their music. So here's my philosophy. I'm brand new to this. I can't compete with Justin Johnston. One, I'm in weaker waters. Two, I don't really fish big rivers. I don't really enjoy fishing the Ohio River as much as I enjoy fishing other rivers. just because it's so big. It's not like I'm not scared. It's not a safety thing. It's just I enjoy flowing down the Little Miami where I can essentially cast across the river. Same thing with the Great Miami. Like I enjoy doing more of a river certified type deal as opposed to big water. I'm not opposed to big water. It's just I just won't ever really be able to compete with the big fish guys because that's just not what I really do.
That's not
So I,
100% true.
you don't
I
think you
hope
don't
you're
think?
leading up to a segue of you told me a
Yeah.
story. All right, because I know that you are more well known to some than to others. So I'll let
Mhm.
you tell everybody about that.
Here's my deal. I have to if I want to get known in this game, I'm gonna have to do something completely different. My editing's gonna have to be I don't want to say better because if I say better, that means I'm saying theirs is bad. I'm not saying theirs is bad. I have to be different. So like
Right.
I'm really trying hard to make my editing really good. I'm trying really hard to do something unique where they can't use copyrighted music because they're all making money already. Well, I can bring in my first couple thousand subscribers by just abusing the fact that my videos aren't going to get rejected from YouTube. I'm just not ever going to be able to make money off of them. So which is fine. So, if I somehow make money off this down the road, awesome. That's not why I got into it. If I do, awesome. But like, if it's not going to delete my video, why not have Ninja Turtles up? And every time I use a song, some people catch it. And people aren't. Not a lot of people have gotten it so far. Every song I use, there's some kind of affiliation with the video. This one was obvious. So like, if you know the Ninja Turtles, this one's pretty obvious.
It took
Um,
me a minute, and it took me a minute to be honest with you. I think because I was jamming to the song so much.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that one was pretty obvious. But every single video, any song that's in there's a link that I've established anyway. But yeah, back to your thing about some people knowing me and not knowing others. So I'm interviewing these guys from Tennessee at the Ohio Valley River Cats. It's hard. It's hard. Um, it was the second or third boat that I was interviewing, and they're from Tennessee. So I don't even have this on my cue card of questions I want to ask everybody. I'm like, oh, do you know Justin Johnson with Kayak Catfish and Catfish Dave? Because I just assumed it was a yes. Because I just assume everyone watches YouTube. And even if you're not a kayak or bank fisherman, which Catfish Dave has moved over to boat, but he's known for his bank fishing, you
Yep.
essentially know those two guys. And they're like, no, we don't know them. So I didn't put it in the video, but I turned to the camera and I go, ha, two people who know me before you guys. Which
Hey,
I
that's a
thought was
statement,
pretty
though.
funny.
But
Yeah.
now that they've probably been both subscribed to both of those guys, and they're like, "Who is that guy?"
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One Ton Fishing Club. What's going on, brothers? That'll be our guest next week. Is One Ton Fishing Club.
Cool.
Arthur, somebody said.
I'm getting a little bummed with Facebook. I'm trying to post a link to this, and the big picture's not popping up of the YouTube picture. You know what I mean? Huh.
No, Tiger Muskie's in the house tonight too. Joe Buck, Outdoor Addiction, 41 Beautiful People, Cat Snatch Fever. That's another good one. Love that name. Arthur Henderson,
It's my dad's favorite band, Ted Nugent.
Jeremy Allen. Is Matthew Baker the knife maker in here? I didn't see him. Oh, well, Michael Murillo. He's in the house. Just he's been hanging back, he says. So another thing you happened down there that you ran into an acquaintance of ours now. One of I seen that you went fishing with him this past weekend, Mark Wobbled.
Mm-hmm.
So how was that?
Going fishing was awesome. Mark, he's a great dude. I'm pretty sure he randomly messaged me on Facebook. He watched a couple videos. I was a local guy around here with him. I don't even remember how the first couple conversations started. But very genuine. Hooked me up with some hooks. Oh, I posted a picture of a 28-inch blue cat unbending a mustad demon. I know a lot of people love that hook. I personally thought it was kind of built cheap. And then once that 28-inch, 7-pound blue cat literally bent it in half the other direction, I was like, oh, this is kind of. And then he literally just messaged me. He's like, I'm going to send you these hooks. And I love them. I'm not going to push them right now because so something I'm trying to do on my channel is if I don't use it like 25 to 50 plus times, I'm not going to promote or push it because I just think that's irresponsible. Now, other people might do it. It's fine. They might get a lot of views. It's just not something I personally can do because I'll feel dirty. You know what I mean? And but yeah, he messaged me and then we just start talking. I understand he was like a mentor of you when you were brand new. He's been mentoring me. He offered me to go out on the boat in a catfishing tournament this past weekend. And we went up to Grand Lake St. Mary's and we were targeting channel cats. And the channel cat bite is on fire, but we had 15-mile-an-hour winds or more, who knows, and we had like 2 or 3 foot swells. And we were fishing the middle of the lake. So Grand Lake St. Mary's is the biggest lake in Ohio. It's 10 miles long and I think 3 or 4 miles wide. And it's like an oval. Like East Fork Lake, you know, there's bends and coves. Grand Lake St. Mary's is just a giant oval. There's no hiding from anything anywhere unless you're like in a little like a boat area. And yeah, we dragged and he taught me a lot of things that I'm going to be implementing in my fishing for sure. And yeah, he was just a really good dude, and it's rare in life to be around someone that genuine. Like I didn't feel like he was BSing me whatsoever. I've been around some guys, you know, with whatever sport it is. It doesn't have to be fishing, where they might be giving you tips and techniques, but you just know they're not giving you the whole truth. And I didn't get that feeling from him whatsoever, which was really cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, bring your camera gear along. He's like, film the stuff, get it out there. And I was like, that's really neat and that's really rare. Granted, it's not a $17,000, $18,000 prize pot. It's what everyone put in. It would probably be a different story then. But still, it's, you know, it's competition. And Mark I know outside of tournament fishing, and the Mark I met tournament fishing, 2 completely different people. He's an animal. He's an animal on the water. The moment from the first throw of the first cast net on the dock, he went from Mark level, the super nice, genuine guy. I don't think I've ever met a nicer guy, to an absolute animal. And it was so cool to see the switch. See, I'm kind of all my competitiveness is gone. I'm kind of laid back. So like I'm sitting on the front of the boat like this, and it's in the front seat. My legs are crossed. I'm just waiting for a channel cat to hit, and I'm just like I'm smiling. I'm all happy, and he's in the middle of the boat, like trying to stop the waves from like going too much. And we're using adult language because the weather's just not cooperating. And I'm like, oh man, this is night and day difference. This is kind of neat. It's kind of neat.
I was just trying to figure out, seeing what my wife just posted here. Where'd it go? Talking to Rod. I don't know what Roger said, but
he's on his show next week.
Who's on this show?
Mark.
No, Ohio Catfish Chasers is Derek. But still, this is a great one. So yeah, I met Mark. Actually, I was telling you before the show, I met Mark last year at the Rising Sun tournament when I pulled up and I barely even had rod holders on my boat and had no idea what we were getting into. And we were camping out next to these guys, and he comes over and he starts talking to us, and he says, "Come over here to my boat and we'll talk." And the same thing, that was when we kind of hit it off. He handed me some sinkers and some hooks, and I'll be dirty. I ain't gonna, they're Daiachi D85 hooks.
And he's not the only one. I talked to a bunch of other tournament guys, and they were almost 100% of them were like, Daiachis are the way to go. Don't waste your time with anything else.
The Daiachi D85 7/0 is the one that most of them use. Or a lot of people
actually a 9/0.
It's huge. But he did the same. Yeah, I use them. I use some other ones that I've gotten from various people, and I haven't, had bad luck on any of them yet. So I do have a variety of hooks in my boat. I'm not set to one hook yet, but I do think those are
Mhm.
great hooks.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
but same thing, that tournament last year, we literally, I think, weighed in the first day at we weighed in 2 channel casts, like 5 pounds. Had no
Mhm.
idea what the heck we were doing. Second day, we got disqualified because we showed up late and couldn't fish. So,
Oh.
so Mark's got my number, and the same thing. He texted me. He's like, "Hey, you got a minute?" And the same thing he did to you. He's like, "Hey, meet me. Why don't you guys meet me up at this lake? I'm going to teach you guys how to fish." You know, I've been a bank fisherman my entire life until I got my boat, and I had no idea, especially when it came to tournament fishing. And he did. He
Mhm.
took us out. We fished for probably 6 hours or so up in a lake in Ohio, and we tore them channel cats up, but we were catching them 10, 15 pounders. Real nice fish. And about a month later, he calls me up. He's like, "You want to go learn something else?" Absolutely. So he took me down to
Mhm.
Ohio, showed me a different technique, and just you know how to spot and fish, doing different stuff like that. With using a trolling motor. I had no idea about any of that stuff. So you know that's what I've been practicing, the stuff that he's taught me throughout the
Mhm.
year. And we had almost an 80-pound weigh-in, which we were like 25 pounds out of the money, but we had a way better tournament this year than obviously last.
80 pounds for 2 days is good.
Yeah,
That's in Ohio River. 2 days, 80 pounds in 2 days is good. Like that had to be top half of the field. I honestly don't know. That
we
just had to be
finished
top half.
we finished 51st.
So
Yeah,
top fourth, top quarter. It
yeah,
was top quarter essentially. Yeah, yeah.
right.
That's a good weight for 2 days, man.
Heck yeah. I mean, the first day, and it was funny because the first night we camped out right next to him again. And we were talking the night before, and he was like, "Okay, so this is what you need to do." Again, teaching me something else about how to do a tournament, right? It's calling out, and you want to work from the bottom up, and this and that. And
I'm up. Yep.
he's
Mm-hmm.
he's like, you want to be probably around 45 pounds or so daily to put yourself in chance of being in the money. And the very first day we weighed in, I think it was like 45.6 or something like that. And I was like, "Oh yeah, here we go, here we go." And then day two happened, and it was it was a rough second day. Uh,
I think I
so
figured it out.
did your tarp not hold him while you? Oh, so I was like, "What?" Yeah, cat snatch fever. Yeah, I had to move into the house tonight. I had my hoodie and everything ready to. I was gonna sit outside with a little heater, but it decided to start raining, so I was not going to set out in it being 50 degrees and raining. He was afraid
Is
he'd
it super
slip.
windy there too?
Do what?
Is it super windy there too?
It's been pretty windy off and on all day here. Yeah.
It must just be like that the whole East Coast because everyone I've seen posting everyone's been talking about how terrible the wind is everywhere.
Really?
The wind yesterday, yeah, we went fishing last night. That good segue into the tournament fishing. So
Yeah.
I do in the kayak catfishing world. It's month-long tournaments. The majority of them are month-long tournaments, and it's all by length. It's not by weight. So some people, kind of crap on that because they're like, oh, you're not, a 30-pound fish could be 40 inches, but you can also have a 50-pound fish be 40 inches. So you can have
Sure.
two guys, one caught a bigger fish, but they're measured equally. My thing on that is if we're all competing against the same rules, who cares? You know what I mean? It's all ice
Yeah.
cream,
Oh,
different
yeah.
flavors. You know what I mean? Like bass fishermen, cat fishermen, all ice cream, different flavors. We're all the same people, different flavors. So the way the catfishing tournaments work, the majority of them are month long. And the one that I was in ended last night. It was the last day of the month. And me and my buddy Mark went out. We went out to the mouth of the Back Creek on the Ohio River. And the wind was just so terrible. Even at night, normally around here, if the wind's terrible during the day, once it gets about 8, 9 o'clock, it completely lets up and you're normally safe to go out in the Ohio. We weren't
Yeah.
even safe up in the back creek. We got to the back creek mouth and we sat on the bank from about 8 o'clock until 1:30 in the morning. Fishing was good until the clouds went away. So I caught 3 blue cats, 26, 26, and 27 inches. He caught a flathead, I think like a 20-inch flathead. And then the moment the clouds left and it was just straight full moon, no, not even like we got a couple turtle bites and that was it. So, but like, you know, and the way the kayak catfishing tournaments works, it's all length. The one that I was in was you were allowed 2 fish over 35 inches and 4 fish under 25 inches. And that's called a slot fish under 25. So you
Okay.
take your total inches amongst those 6 fish, and then as the month progresses, whoever has the most inches is the winner. So I ended up in 4th place, I think by 5 inches or so. I keep the leaderboard for this particular tournament, so let me check. I ended up in 4th. Yeah, I ended up in 4th place by 8.5 inches. And now there's another scene. This is a regional tournament. This is Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky only. It's called Kayak and Cats on Facebook.
Okay.
TCKA, Trophy Catfish Kayak Anglers. They're the national brand for us. They do a month long, which is your 5 biggest fish. There's no culling. There's no small fish. It's just your 5 biggest fish for the month. And they also have a slot where it's your 1 biggest fish and your 4 fish under 30 inches. And the whole reasoning behind that is to bring the field together. That way people can compete. I can compete with people in Tennessee in a slot tournament because I can in 1 month for sure catch a 40+ inch fish. And I can also for sure catch a whole bunch of 29-inch fish. So I can compete with those people. And hypothetically speaking, if you took my results, I would have won the TCKA Open tournament this month, and I would have took 2nd in their slot tournament. So the regional tournament was the tougher of the 3, which is the tournament that everyone kind of looks down on. So I made this month. I made our slot format. For Kayak and Cats identical to TCKA's, so I can talk a little crap at the end of the month, you know, and be like, "Hey guys, look, we're pretty good in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky too. You don't have to be living in those big rivers to catch fish." With that said, I acknowledge the fact that our fish, on average, are not as good. I acknowledge that fact. Like, some people say, oh, anyone can compete anywhere. Well, yeah, if you're a really good fisherman and you know your waters, of course you can. But if a Joe Schmo walked up to the Ohio River and threw a bait out, his average fish would be smaller than somebody walking up to the Tennessee River and throwing a bait out. Period.
Absolutely.
Like, that's not arguable.
I can go out every time we go out. The range that we catch out of the Ohio is mainly that 5 to 10 pound range. We are getting loaded with that. So
25 to 30 inches.
Those 10 to 15 pounders occasionally, but a lot of it is that 5 to 10 pound range. I just wanted to post that up there so I can answer that question. I didn't forget about it. But Jason Blackbird, I will be fishing every month of the year and the winter. I will be out there all winter long fishing. So, because I'm crazy, D says.
Yeah.
Mike, whereabouts are you actually located? I know you're in Ohio, right?
Yep, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I am in the dead center of Cincinnati, Ohio. I live in Norwood. So Norwood, yeah, they don't realize this. Norwood technically is in Cincinnati. If you put Cincinnati on your address, it's going to get to you, of course, but Cincinnati is actually a donut. You got Cincinnati, and then in the middle of it, you got this town called Norwood. And it's not part of Cincinnati Public Schools or anything. They're their own town. They've never had a levy fail or anything like that. Like, it's a little tight-knit community. I coached here for 10 years. I love the community. And, yeah, I live in Norwood. I'm a stone's throw away from the Ohio River, 20 minutes away from the Little Miami, 20 minutes away from the Great Miami. So I have 3 really good fisheries, if, you know, any time of the year. And then I'm within an hour of Caesars Creek, East Fork Lake, Cohen Lake. What other good lakes are around here? They're all great fisheries too. Mainly channels. Some of them are holding blues. They're not. They don't naturally produce there. There may or may not be some boat guys that I know putting some in those lakes, but it's just rumor.
Yeah. my buddy Bill, me and him, we've been friends for probably 20 years, a little over 20 years. He was just saying he's ready. He's ready. He's ready for this winter catfishing. But yeah, we'll sit out there. We tried it last year. I mean, we actually had a tournament with Mark on New Year's Day, 32 degrees at launch that day. We took his boat. Thank goodness he had a windshield that kept a little bit of that air as we were going like 35 miles an hour down the river, because it gets cold out there.
It does. With
you kayaking, how late in the year will you kayak, or will you kayak when it's cold too?
Year round here.
Yeah.
Year round here. Yep. My first kayak in its third voyage, I didn't notice it had a weak hull, and there was a hole. There was a puncture. I'm going to not use the word hole. There was a puncture in the hull of the boat about that big that I did not notice when I launched. And I just came back from the Catfish Conference. I had 4 brand new Whisker Seeker rods. I had 4 brand new Abus. I had a brand new casking. I have all the tethers to tether them to the kayak, but it's the very first day of the month of March. So that's the beginning of the month-long tournament. So I launch, and I'm like, I'm going to get to my first spot, get all my baits out, tether all my stuff up, because I don't want to waste any time on the water. Because like a lot of people, I normally fish 1 day a week. I don't normally get out a lot. I normally get like 1 day a week. So I want to maximize my time on that water. Well,
Right.
I'm paddling, like a minute into the paddle, my kayak's leaning left, and it won't come back. And I'm like, what the hell? And I lean right, and then it overcorrects itself. And I'm like, what the hell? I go to turn around and go back to the launch. As I'm turning, kayak flips over $1,000 worth of brand new gear. Completely gone. This was the first day of March. The weather temperature was like 36, and the water temperature was 33. Yeah, that was a fun swim.
Gosh.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine how miserable that was.
Yeah, I was not.
I mean, all that gear and that cold.
Yeah. It sucked.
I can only imagine.
I did learn. I can prove a myth wrong though. Neoprene waders, they work as 2 PFDs. Like it was actually annoying how buoyant they were, because so the waders that are like the plastic feeling, I don't know what the material is, but they're like a crinkle. Those will send you straight to the bottom of the river. Neoprene waders, they're the rubber with the rubber boots. They were so buoyant that like I was trying to swim and they were coming up underneath my body, and it was like getting frustrating because like I was trying to like swim and they kept on like pushing my head down. So there's a little fun fact for people. Neoprene waders work as, an alternate PFD. What sucked was when I got to the bank, because when you're in the water, you're neutral with the water. When you got to the bank, you had 70 pounds of water in your waders, and you were getting stuck in the mud trying to walk up the damn bank.
Yeah, that's for you. Imagine my size. I'd have freaking about 400, 500 pounds of water.
I see
Michael Barilla wants to know, so after that, did you go buy a boat or another kayak?
The very next weekend, so the guy who runs TCK, Ron Himmelhaber, so I posted to the TCK like, hey guys, look, I'm probably done fishing kayak tournaments, because I'm not going to turn around and buy another $1,000 kayak. It's just, I can't just go spend $1,000 on a kayak every month. And he sends me a message and he says, go return your kayak to Bass Pro where I got it, which that was my mistake in the first place. But like I said, I'm not going to crap on anything. And he's like, just give me the money that you would have, or that you get back for your return, and I'm going to give you essentially a brand new kayak. And he lives in Tennessee. The very next weekend, I went down to Tennessee, picked up the one that you saw. I picked up my new canoe Flint, which is probably the smallest kayak you want to be in if you're trophy catfishing. I do not. If anyone watching this is interested, look up a new canoe Flint and look up its specs, and that is the smallest kayak you want to be trophy catfishing. Now, I'm sure there are people who are in smaller ones, blah, 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 blah. Just my personal experience. I'm relatively athletic. I'm a small dude, so the kayak only had a 375-pound weight capacity, and I put 425 in it every single time I went out. And I did feel safe, but there were times like I would lean to the side to pull in a big flathead, and the kayak wasn't trying to come back the other direction. It was just sitting there, and if I kept leaning, I easily could have fell out a whole bunch of times. But it was a really well-made kayak, which brings me to the point about my new kayak. This new kayak I'm in, it's so big, it's like a mini boat. Like yesterday, I was testing it out for the first time. I was leaning over as hard as I could, and the kayak was pushing me the other direction. And I was like, this wasn't happening in my last kayak. This is like a Cadillac compared to my last kayak. I was like, this is great. But I have no complaints about the Flint. If you're looking to get into kayak fishing, trophy kayak fishing, the Flint is a great starter. If you're a bigger dude, don't get the Flint. I would suggest something like one I'm in right now. Like the Jackson you pick has I think 425 or 450-pound weight capacity. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's super wide. It's like, or the F10 or F12, the new canoe F10 or F12. The width is so important, especially with bigger guys, because that's what prevents you from tipping over. The new canoe Flint
Yep.
was just a straight line. It was like a pencil. It was a straight line. So if you went too far left or right, like every now and then, if a big fish hit and my drag was too tight, my kayak would just start tipping until I got that rod out of the rod holder.
Yeah, us bigger guys that are a little bit on the top heavy side, we need that little bit of width to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that I can do that. You know, even my boat feels like it's like a kayak to me. I'm so big sometimes. So I'm looking at maybe I got my buddy Bill. He's got a pontoon boat, and I've thought about watching when he's not home and taking both the tunes off of his pontoon and using that as a little kayak.
That's a good idea. That looks like fun.
I could probably make something up to be pretty cool like that. Problem is, he knows where I live. Kayaks for big guys are much like clothes for big guys. The bigger you are, the more you're gonna cost. That's right.
Yeah,
Might as
no,
well
that's
just buy a
really true
boat.
too. That's really true too. So like, it's no secret now. I'm kind of talking with somebody about becoming a pro staff member with certain companies, and that's kind of why I went the Jackson route. Nothing's official, so I can't really like announce it. But like, I wanted to buy one myself. That way, I can give like an honest review and not have anyone behind me saying like, "You got to say this." I'm not saying he would do that, but I don't want anyone to be able to influence anything I say ever. So I'll probably buy everything first, and then be like, "Okay, if you want to reimburse me, go for it." But I'm gonna be brutally honest about everything. But my thing is, I'm trying to do no negativity on my channel. So if you don't hear me talk about something and you saw me use it, I probably think it's a piece of crap. And like if I'm no longer using it anymore, I probably thought it was bad. So, but yeah, I'm talking with somebody. There's a chance of like a pro staff type thing opening up in the future. But that's leading into the Jackson thing. I was looking at the Jackson kayaks, and that's why I got the Jackson kayak I got was because it was cheaper, but for trophy catfishing, the front is super wide. For me, that's important. I like the super wide front because I'm trying to measure these fish. Now, if you're not interested in doing any of the tournaments, any kind of pedal or whatever, the pedal kayaks and the ones that come pre-built, like the old towns with the motors inside, everyone says that, like Hobies and stuff, that they are, the best kayaks out there because they're just so sturdy and so big and so strong. But you also then have to consider trailer. See, I car top. I'm not trailering yet. I car top. So I'm at essentially the max kayak I can do if I want a car top. I ain't car topping a Hobie. That's not happening.
That's probably one reason I would never go do a kayak other than I'm such a big guy. But I had a canoe before I bought my boat, and I went to put it on top of my SUV, and being smart, it was like a 15-foot canoe. I'm doing it by myself, and I got it up on there, and I went to push it, and it went over and off the side, and went down the side of my car, and it ripped my mirrors and everything else off. So I just went and bought me a big boat.
And that was after his wife volunteered to help him put it up there.
Hey,
He said no.
Peanut Gallery, you're not on this show. I don't even,
So funny story
he's
about
over here
that.
telling on me. Well, I was manly. I had to do it by myself.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
a mirror and all the scratches down the side of my car later. I asked her for her help.
Yep. I've accepted the fact that I'm going to be driving this Jeep until it dies because of all the scratches I put on the back of it from loading my kayak. Funny story. Every single kayak I've owned 3 now. Every single one I've owned, within the first 2 times of putting it on my Jeep, exactly what you said, I have done. So
Really?
my first one, boom. My second one, boom, right at a lake. And then my third one, the one I have right now, the first time I loaded it up here, which was embarrassing because my neighbors were actually outside. I have it up. I thought I had it straight. I didn't. It was kind of cockeyed. Wind came, slid right down the side of my Jeep, boom. And they're loud. They're not quiet. They're like hollow plastic. It was like a drum, boom. And I was like,
Yeah.
Par for the course. I've done this with every kayak.
Have you ever noticed that when you're doing something like that, is when everybody's outside their house? My neighbor was out, she was out, the guy across the street, everybody. I'm like, any other time I might see a neighbor 1 or 2 at a time. It seemed like the whole street was out there when I was doing that. So,
Give a shout out to J Dog's wife. She turns 35 tomorrow.
J Dog's wife turns 35 tomorrow, huh? Well, happy birthday, J Dog's wife. Let's see. I seen Little Buckets of Sunshine is in here. Little Anna. Best Friends Outdoors. That's a new one. Welcome. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I do remember from those. Mike Turner. Glad to see you came in. Creole Catfishing. Let's see. Papa Ed. So, what else we got going on here? I'm trying to think what else we talk about. We want to maybe talk about. I got one other thing to talk about from my end, but is there anything else you want to bring up from yours?
I'm trying to think. We went over tournaments. The nationals for TCK is this weekend. They got I don't know what the field is yet because I keep on going to the national page and I don't see who's registered. Normally you can see like people as they register. I believe their goal was 25 entries, and from what I've gathered so far, I'm pretty sure they have 25 entries, and they have actually a lot of really good prizes.
Really?
Justin Johnson with Kayak Catfish, he won it last year. I don't know if he's fishing it this year, but yeah, apparently like the minimum number they needed was 25, and then all these sponsors. I was watching a video with Ron. All these sponsors were going to jump in, and if they hit those 25, they have a lot of sponsors like Muskie Bumper, Catch. Oh yeah, for the audience, if you don't know, the boards we use mainly are Muskie Bumper and Catch, like KHECH. And if you use a catch board, they actually kick in a little extra money if you cash out in one of the tournaments, which is kind of cool. It's like an extra incentive to use them. So if you're interested in measuring fish at all, you can't go wrong. They're kind of pricey. Like, don't get me wrong, they're kind of pricey, but they ain't gonna break on you.
And what are they called?
The first one's Muskie Bumper. That's the one I use, and then the other one that kicks in more money to people who place if you use it in their tournaments is Catch. Catch. So the little criticism with Catch is it's more durable and it's metal, but they initially were bass focused. So when they made this big 48-inch board, they didn't widen it at all. So it's really hard to take a picture on it. But the Muskie Bumper is just a piece of wood. It's a 60-inch piece of wood cut in half. It floats automatically. If you drop it by accident, it floats automatically, and it holds the fish much better because like the Muskie Bumper is like this wide, and the Catch is like this wide, and you're supposed to measure all the catfish on their side. So imagine having a 40-pound blue cat on the side of something this wide, right here. Like, it's doable. Like, people do it, but
it looked like me in a kayak.
My thing is like everyone who promotes that it's just as easy. My thing is show me proof, make a video, not multiple videos, make a video from beginning to end of you catching that fish, landing that fish, measuring that fish, taking a picture of that fish and releasing that fish, Don't just show me the picture. Anyone can get a snapshot. I want to see the whole thing multiple times, and then I'll believe it's just as easy as the musky bumper. I just don't think it's possible. How can you put a fish that's 17 inches wide on something this big and not have them fall off multiple times during that process? You know what I mean?
Right. Roger,
But they
I
are
did
coming out
see
with
your
a big
message.
game.
So, sorry, what?
They are coming out with a big game, which I've been begging for. I told them I would even pay for it, but they haven't responded.
Really?
Yeah, they're coming out with a big game that's supposed to be like even wider than the musky bumper, and anything that supports the things that I do, I'll get it. I don't care. I'm not made of money, but if it supports the things that I am directly involved in, I will, even if I think it's a slightly inferior product, I'll use that product just to support my team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm the same way. I like anything that makes it better and easier.
Mm-hmm.
Jason said, "Good job. Her face was blood red." We also got a couple new people.
Who we got?
Here, Ryan Orts, Blue Color Fishing.
I'm not seeing it. Well, Jason Blackburn, I am glad that we could make her blood red in the face.
And Palmetto wants to know what Mike's favorite color is.
Orange.
Mike, orange.
Yep.
That's why I did it inside the house, because I had a feeling that your favorite color was orange. So
Orange is my favorite color. I like the bright colors on the kayak. The day after I bought my new kayak, they came out with their new colors, and the dark red was out, and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me!" Literally the day after I bought it, next year's models came available.
Well, I'm not seeing these names that you're talking about, but welcome to our new folks. S. Thurman, I see that one.
Yep.
Ryan Bortz, Blue Collar Fishing, welcome. I just had to go back.
Yeah.
Missed a few there. Okay.
And Backwoods Barbarian.
And Backwoods Barbarian. Woo. I like that one. If I'm not mistaken, that's another one of Mo Homesteading's crew that she sends raiding over. So thank you again to Miss Mo Homesteading. We got a few minutes left, but I do want to talk about real quick, Mike, something about my channel. This weekend starts the YouTube Catfish Couples Showdown. We'll be doing that on October 3rd, 4th, and then the 10th and 11th. So hopefully everybody is subbed, and if not, also shared that out. I've created a Facebook page for that as well. Would love to get some people into that and watching these guys fish against each other. Different people every weekend. We have 4 this weekend on Saturday. We have, I believe it's 5 or 6 on Sunday, and then 5 or 6 on the next Saturday, and then 5 on the last day. So 20 teams total. It's going to be awesome. I did see a message that was sent to me. There's some things that I've got going on. I'm waiting on some things to come in for the tournament, and then I will probably talk about those during the tournament, just so I make sure that they're going on, what we're doing. But, talking about the music and stuff earlier, I do think for the guys and gals that will be fishing in that, as I work on building my channel, if for music and stuff like that, I do think we should try to keep that to a minimal, so that just in case YouTube decides to take action, I don't lose those hours, because that would be a big bummer, because I know everybody's going to watch the entire time all weekend and never go do anything. So I'm kidding, of course. I am excited for everybody to come in and out and see what's going on. I do have, if everybody noticed, I don't have the StreamYard logo anymore, just so I can make sure that we have all of our participants in. I had to up it a little bit so that we can get up to 10 channels in at one time. So other than that, the list of participants, I actually redid the thumbnails today per another request. Thought it would be a good idea, and I really loved it. So thank you. You know who you are. So I redid the thumbnails for each and every one of them, and it'll show you who is fishing that day. The list is also on the YouTube Couples Catfish Showdown page, along with the rules that they will be following, minus a couple of things that I had on the original, where like we had to change the rules because Betty Jean Cross was her she'll go out and catch like 200 bluegill in about an hour. She knows these special spots, and then we had other people that have access to fish hatcheries and stuff like that. So we had to make some rule adjustments throughout this, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of good people in it. A lot of our favorite people that we tend to watch anyways. We have Catfish Headhunters, Palmetto, Muskrat, Betty Jean. There's a guy that I tried to get into it, but he was scared of me, and I still love him to death. Chunky Cats Fishing. I see you lurking in there. But we have Catfish Weekly. All these guys, a lot of good people. Creole, Tracker Catfishing, The Weekend Angler. Sorry if I'm missing anybody, Stan Smith, but there's a great list of people who want to be doing this. So hopefully a lot of people have a little bit of time and can stop in and say hello. That's all I'll throw out there about the tournament that's starting this weekend. Tomorrow night, make sure you guys tune in to Catfish and Crappie. He will be live with Creole Catfishing, and I'm sure Creole is going to tell us a little bit about how he plans to lose to me on the couples challenge too. So, let me try this. So, Mike, what else you got tonight, bro? Got a couple more minutes.
Palmetto had a good question, and this is actually something I'm really proud of. Proud of and not proud of right now. So Palmetto Cats had a question: do I sub to any community channels? So I was just recently subbed to like 200. I don't know how I did it, but I mass desub from like 150 channels, which really bummed me out because now I'm trying to finding a. So like if you literally could not find me, even if you type my name in, you couldn't find me for the longest time. So finding these community channels was a huge deal to me because I like to learn from everyone, like, your Kayak Catfish, whatever. They're going to get all their thousands of viewers, but
yeah,
you learn a lot of stuff too from the people who are coming up. So yes, I am a sub to a lot of them. But I do a podcast. I try and do a podcast every week. It's not always possible. I try and do a podcast every week, updating everybody of all the tournament standings for like Kayak and Cats. But what I do in there, I do like a blue catfish fishing video of the week, a newer channel video of the week, I try and showcase channels that are in the same situation that I am, just trying to grow. So the answer to that question is I definitely sub to them, and I'm also actively trying to promote them through the small, window that I have to promote them as well.
Nice. Well, one thing, if you the group that's watching tonight, there's literally around 40 to 50 of us that do one heck of a job supporting one another. So invite you in any night you're free. Normally around 8 o'clock, one of us are on here. Monday night you got Catfish Weekly. Tuesday night Muskrat Adventures. Wednesday night it's Patriot Catfishers. I'm Thursday. Mine or James Dockery, the guy that normally is in here with us, is on Thursdays. Mark from Catfish and Crappie is doing it on Fridays right now, while Avid Fisherman has got some work issues going on, so he's kind of taking over for him. Catfish Headhunters on Saturdays and Palmetto Cats on Sundays, and you will see a great community. And I think that's what we kind of talking about here is at least 40 to 50 people that regularly frequent these. So. And again, every time, even though there might be only one new person in it, we try to share everybody's link that we can to get, that one sub might turn into a share that gets you another 20 or 30, right? And then view time. So great community.
If anyone wants to look me up on Facebook, it's just Kayak Mike. Add me and just shoot me a channel, and I will do my best to promote them as well. And watch. More importantly, watch. That's the main reason I do it. I enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I mean that's what most of us started on this is, we were watching Chris Souders and Catfish Weekly, and it kind of evolved. Well, obviously Steve Douglas and Chris Flores and those guys too. But
Mm-hmm.
the more we started doing it and getting out there, and it started, the electronic age continues to progress, right? So more and more people, and I think we were talking about earlier, COVID, it gave more people an opportunity and a want to go out there and try something different, right? So a lot of us are seeing what we can do and putting some stuff out there and trying to grow. This is a great question, real quick, by LG Bass. What happens if there is a tie between teams on different days for first place? So every day, and I don't have them in front of me, I had donated to me. It was delivered to my house, a pack of the counters for the clickers, right? So as people are fishing and catching fish, everybody will have their own counter. Either if I'm here, it'll be on my desk, or if I'm out in the fishing, it'll be right there where everybody will be able to see it. And what we'll do is, for day one, there will be a leaderboard, right? Day two, maybe not as great as Mike did on his whenever he did his editing. You should go watch that. I'm telling you, it's really he had my name in the top spot. I was in second place for like the first 30 minutes of his video. So he gives all kinds of kudos for me. But what I'm going to do is, after the first day, we'll have a leaderboard. After day two, that leaderboard is going to expand, and we'll have another, possibly somebody else on top. At the end of the tournament, we will have a overall tournament winner. Okay. Now, if there is a tie, say I catch me and D catch 25 fish, and Stan Smith catches 25 fish, we might have to have a showdown or something, or a battle, or maybe we'll go by biggest fish. I haven't decided yet. I got another day to think about this. Now, the biggest question is, who will get the Dockery Award? The person who comes in last, because I'm thinking Muskrat and Betty. Dockery might get his own award. There might be a three-way tie there. I don't know. So we might have a battle of wits of who can talk the most trash. But, the person who gets shot down the biggest gets the Dockery Award. I haven't decided that yet either. So I have about 24 hours to maybe come up with something, huh?
Rattle trap.
Oh, rattle trap. What?
Rattle trap fishing.
Rattle trap fishing. Hey, rattle trap fishing. I didn't scroll right past when I tried to get back to the bottom. All right. Oh, look at this. Look. Muskrat Adventures says, shut your face. Just so you know, so Kayak Mike, I'm not sure if you've seen all that's going on with this, but Muskrat Adventures, Betty Jean and her husband Brandon have planned a trip in 8 days to go to Alabama just to fish this tournament. They live in Ohio. They live up in somewhere in like Chillicothe, Ohio area or something like that.
That's not too
But
far
they're
away.
but they're so scared of coming in last. They're driving and taking chances on a body of water that they have never ever fished.
That's funny. That's where our nationals are at this year, Alabama. That's why I didn't go. I don't travel well.
Yeah. Well, my fear. Oh, look. This. Oh, where'd he go? You're going down. So they're trying to test. My fear is, I know that Muskrat knows Doc Lang, and my fear is he's gotten a hold of him. So yeah, there's definitely some Avid. Just so you know, so we were talking about that last night on Patriot Catfishers of America's show. We had talked about doing a cuss jar type thing where everybody that cussed, for every curse word they had to donate money for a charity. So I thought about it going about a different way.
I think I did pretty good. I wouldn't owe too many tonight.
No, you did really well. You were saying about that earlier. But what I did is I on each of the couple showdown links, I put a link to my PayPal so that if anybody wants to donate to the cause, now the cause is not to me. It has none of the money would go to me. None of the money will go to D. The winner of the tournament will get to tell us who they want to donate to a charity. So whether it be like Wounded Warrior but it has to be a charity. It can't be Muskrat Adventures Face, right? That is charitable, but it's not an actual charity. It has to be some kind of actual organization, like Wounded Warriors, on the Patriot. Oh my goodness, I just lost that one. What is it?
Chantron.
Oh, Chantron. Come on. Welcome to technology. But yeah, so to a charity of their choosing, whoever that is, and then we will donate that money. So hopefully it'll maybe make a few bucks. Obviously, we talked about last night. I don't want anybody to feel like they need or have to donate to something like that. It was just something extra that I thought might be nice that we could do. Shut up, Muskrat. Because I seen that Catfish Weekly said Doc Lang is in New Madrid, Missouri right now. Lyle, if you could you have him stop by and watch your house while you go out fishing? All right. Yeah, even the paid version sucks. I don't know if it's the phones, Roger, that we have or what that does it after so long, but Chadtron it is. All right. So
Okay,
Mike,
so I'm not going crazy. So they're talking about your mic sounding a little robotic right now.
yeah, it goes to where it sounds robotic or I sound like Mickey Mouse.
It's good now. It's good now. It went right back to normal. Maybe it just needed a cut from something else.
I have no idea. It acts goofy sometimes. It's not my internet connection. It's the daggone phone.
Dude, look, it's frustrating. That mic right there is like a professional gaming mic, and that mic is nowhere near as good as my GoPro mic, and it's infuriating because I'm trying to do the podcasting myself, and I'm realizing if I record myself with my GoPro, it's 10 times better.
That's crazy, ain't it?
So frustrating.
And just so everybody knows, he showed me his setup there before. The dude's got like 4 monitors and all, and he's got a class act right there. He's ready. He is ready to go. He can really lay it down there. So, all right, now that you're done showing off.
Yeah. The Catfish World might not like me because Southerners, they love their NASCAR. I'm a big F1 fan. I love NASCAR, don't get me wrong, but I'm a big Formula One fan. I can't get enough of it. Which is, it's not go fast, turn left, but man, it's real. And there's an American team, Haas. They're my favorite team. That's the car you saw. It was Haas.
Yeah.
So Haas Gene Racing and NASCAR.
I just like fast cars.
Yeah.
But I have Catfish and Crappie says he has monitor envy. All right. Well, Mike, seriously though, I want to appreciate you coming in tonight, man, and hanging out with me and sharing a little bit of different than what we're kind of used to, talking about kayaking and fishing and stuff like that, and how you beat up on Justin Johnson on the regular and all that good stuff. So.
Just that's gonna get clipped, and it's gonna be like I talk trash.
Feel free, man. I ain't scared. He don't know who I am, so I probably never will.
I mean, no, he knows who I am. He responds to my comments on his page, but he probably still doesn't even know who I am, to be honest.
Dude, I'm sure he gets so many comments, but he seems like a very down to earth guy. Honestly, I mean, anytime you've ever seen any of his videos, but even his live feeds, he's done a few live feeds where he is like really nice. So, Pond River boys, welcome as we're getting ready to head out. But I am glad you stopped by. All right. But yeah, thanks, guys. I really do appreciate everybody stopping in and hanging out with us tonight. go check Mike out. And I guarantee you, when you watch his catfish blunder, was it the catfish blunder? Is that what it was called with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Blunders. Yeah, that flathead blunders.
Yes, yes. I guarantee you, many of you who were 90s kids and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans will have Vanilla Ice playing in your head singing "Go Ninja, Go Ninja, Go." So with that, I am going to sign off. Mike, hold on 1 minute, and then we'll talk for just a minute right after. All right.
Sounds
Everybody
good,
have
brother.
a good night, and I will see you tomorrow night on Catfish and Crappie.